Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 618 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today we're going to talk about Copywriting Revisited. And this is not the copywriting where you're protecting your work at the Library of Congress. This is where you're writing or speaking the words that make people want to buy your stuff. And if you're new to this podcast, I've got some spectacularly helpful episodes near the beginning of 4 years ago when I first started this. So I want you to listen to episode 13. It goes along with this episode, and I'll tell you what that episode covered in a minute. All right, I hope you didn't miss episode 617. That was on checklists. I mean, I almost died in a ball of fire one time. Truly, not kidding, no joking, because I didn't bother using a checklist. So check that out, episode 617. And if you want to go back to 13 for the copywriting and 617 to hear how I almost died, all right, you go to screwthecommute.com/ and then the episode number. 617 was on checklist. Episode 13 was the original copywriting episode. All right, make sure you grab a copy of our automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free. We sell this for $27. It's worth millions if you would just use the darn thing and save you enormous amounts of time and energy and let you make more money. But we give it to you free for listening to the show. And while you're at it, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. You can put us on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. All right, let's get into copywriting. I've coined it as the number one skill of my entire business career, spanning now 48 years. And even when I was doing kids' side hustles and making flyers to promote my stuff. And in that episode 13 I was telling you about, I covered 5 critical copywriting techniques you can add to your stuff immediately if you listen to that episode. And you'll probably see an increase in sales like overnight. I can't guarantee it, but that's how powerful these techniques are. And I might add that to this day, I still study and teach copywriting because the better you get at it, the more money rolls in your front door. It's as simple as that. All right, now on episode 13, I covered the Zeigarnik principle, scare tactics, and that sounds mean, but it isn't when you listen to that episode and see what that means in a sales letter. Features and benefits, people mess them up all the time. Cost comparisons, very powerful. And the reason why technique, which you couldn't get away from in your life if you were a monk on a mountaintop, right? This is used against you every day of your life. But anyway, I'm not going to go into depth on those because they're covered thoroughly in episode 13 at screwthecommute.com/13, 13. Don't write out 13, it's the numbers. All right, today I'm going to cover several more really important techniques and principles. The first is bonuses. Bonuses always increase sales. And your bonus should not be something that you give away for free anyway. For instance, your free tips newsletter is not a bonus. Anyone can get that without buying your product. Your bonus should be good enough to sell or you have sold it. And your bonus, can be a revenue source. You could give the people a bunch of training videos that teach them how to do things, but they can't do them unless they purchase the tool needed to do what you're teaching them, all right? And that could be one of your products or an affiliate product. So you get revenue from your bonuses. How about that? Also, other people will give you bonuses to give away so they can get exposure in front of your group of buyers. You got to make them embed your affiliate link in their bonus giveaway so you get a commission if someone goes to their site and purchases something. Now, I suggest between 3 and 7 bonuses depending on the price of your product. Now, there was a time when people were giving away $1 million worth of bonuses if you bought their $2 product. Right? Well, that looks stupid. Be reasonable about it. 3 to 7 bonuses, and put the value of the bonuses next to it. As in, you could say something like, in parentheses next to the written bonus, a $47 value. And then here's a very little known thing about bonuses. You can put bonus testimonials. Everybody knows a testimonial is saying how good the main product is, right? But if your bonus was so great, you can have it, and you have sold it in the past. Remember I said it should be good enough that you sell, or you have sold it? Well, if your bonus is that good, somebody gave you a testimonial for your bonus. So you can put that testimonial in the bonus section. And there have been instances where people will buy your whole main product to get a unique bonus. That's another tip on bonuses, is that you can have something in there that you cannot get anywhere else unless they buy this particular deal. And people will buy it just to get that unique bonus. There's lots more about bonuses we cover in our copywriting course, but that's plenty to get you started. Okay, next up, guarantees. Guarantees also increase sales. And here's something counterintuitive. When I was taught this years and years ago, and I stopped and thought about it, I said, yeah, that makes sense. Here's the deal. The longer the guarantee, the less refunds you'll get. Think about it. If you bought something and the guarantee was only for 5 minutes, let's say, all right, it'd probably be a pretty crappy product if they only guaranteed it for 5 minutes. But you jump on it to test the product out right away and make a decision instantly if you want to keep it or not. But if the guarantee was for a year, you might not even get around to opening the package, all right, or downloading it for a couple of weeks or more. And by the time you did, you probably even forgot where you bought it. See, so the longer the guarantee, the better. And again, on all of these, I'm giving you the brief part, and the in-depth version is in my Copywriting 901 course, but this is plenty enough to get you started. All right, next is calls to action. See, when I'm critiquing a sales letter, many times people will include all the fancy elements that I teach them, right? And then they forget to ask for the sale. There are 2 ways I typically do a call to action. For inexpensive products, and of course that's relative to your market, a simple add to cart button is fine. Of course, you should have done a great job of selling them in the other elements of the sales letter. And by the way, I've identified over 31 of them for an effective sales letter or sales video or whatever. And then for more expensive products, I use a text link with a command and benefit as the clickable text. Like for one of my speaking products, it could be click here. That's the command. That's a clickable thing to get standing ovations around the world. That's the big benefit of the product. Or it could be click here to get invited back over and over. Click here again was the command, and get invited back over and over to speak is one of the big benefits of the product. So don't forget your calls to action. All right, next up is a teaser. This actually uses the Zeigarnik principle that you'll learn when you go back and listen to episode 13. So you want people to read to the end of your sales letter or stay till the end of your sales video. You'll see those abbreviated as VSLs, video sales letters. At the beginning, I use a formula. At the beginning of the sales pitch or video or letter or whatever it happens to be. So I use a formula. Here it is. This is the formula, all right? A little later, I'm going to tell you something great, but right now, I'm going to tell you something else. See, the word great and else are variables that I'm going to put in something great, and I'm going to put in something else, all right? Don't write that formula exactly as I wrote it. The word great is a variable, and the word else is a variable. So here's an example. A little later, I'm going to tell you how to get standing ovations every time you speak. But right now, I'm going to tell you how to get on stage in the first place. So the get standing ovations every time you speak was the great part of the variable. But right now, I'm going to tell you how to get on stage in the first place. That's the else. So people are reading, but they're looking for this how to get the standing ovation part of the sales letter, see? So that keeps them reading. That's what you want. So again, the formula is a little later, I'm going to tell you something great, but right now, I'm going to tell you something else. All right, and before I tell you the last copywriting element for this episode, let me remind you about the program we have going on to help persons with disabilities get scholarships. Internet and digital marketing is perfect for people with disabilities because not only can they legitimately learn from home, they can legitimately be hired from home. And so we've got a scholarship program going to get them trained so that they can get hired or start their own business or both. And so we'd love to have your help on this. We have a GoFundMe campaign helping to finance the whole deal. There's a lot of expense in taking care of these people to get them up to speed. So check it out at imtcva.org. That's Internet Marketing Training Center, Virginia, imtcva.org/disabilities. And they're amazing people. I'm telling you, they're so inspirational. Two of them are blind and shooting better videos than I do. So click on the disabilities or click on the GoFundMe campaign over at the website and check it out. And anything you can throw in there to help out is great. Or hey, if you're really flush with cash, you could sponsor a person yourself. How about that? Okay, let's get to the last element here, and that is stories. Now, these are stories about someone you've helped. The story formula is a simple 3 words: problem, intervention, and results. Problem, intervention, and results. So I'm going to I'll give you a little example here. Joe was having trouble selling at the back of the room. So I reviewed, that's the problem. That's simple right there. There's the problem. He was having trouble selling at the back of the room. So now the next part of the formula is the intervention. Here it is. So I reviewed a video of Joe speaking, and I noticed that he waited clear to the end of his speak to even mention his products. So I taught him how to do a drawing during the middle of his speech and give away one of his products as the prize. This gave him a chance to describe the product with no sales resistance because somebody was going to win it. So that was the intervention. Now the results. The next time Joe went out, he sold $1,000 of product at the back of the room. That's the result. See, so problem, he couldn't sell at the back of the room. Intervention, this is where you would plug in a technique you use to help the person. And don't hold back here. You know, everybody says, well, I don't want to give away my important techniques. No, that's opposite. You're just protecting your stuff with a machine gun nest and nobody learns how great you are. All right, so no, you tell them something great that you did, and they figure, wow, if he told us that, he must have a lot of great stuff. And so the intervention, and then you tell the results. See, so problem, intervention, results. That's the story formula. So stories are powerful, so you got to make sure you incorporate them in your sales process. Now, if you'd like help with this and the 1,000 other things you need to know to be successful online, first of all, if you're interested in copywriting, copywriting901.com is one of the most cost-effective copywriting courses ever. It is so powerful. It's got all these elements that goes in depth with PDF files and visuals and videos all about it. And there's probably 60 or 70 sample sales letters of that all made money, so you can see the techniques in action. It's really great. So check it out at copywriting901.com. We have a one-time cash price, or we even finance it for you for 3 payments. So check that out. And then, of course, if you're in my mentor program, you get that and lots of tons of stuff that I have that people pay for free as part of your mentorship. So check that out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. So, folks, You got to get on copywriting. It's the number one skill in my entire business career that's made the most money. It'll transform your business pretty much overnight when you start incorporating these things. People will want to buy your stuff more. And none of this is hocus pocus. It's just psychological principles. Use them ethically, because a lot of the bad people use them unethically, but they work. They are powerful and they will help your business. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Make sure you go back and listen to episode 13, screwthecommute.com/13, and I will catch you on the next episode. See you later.